Alright, so today we're going to be solving a problem from AMC 8. This problem was taken from the 2019 question paper, and it is problem number 3 on that test. So some of the topics that we're going to go over by solving this problem are ordering fractions, and comparing numbers. Alright, so let's read through our problem. Which of the following is the correct order of the fractions 15/11ths, 19/15ths, and 17/13ths from least to greatest? I encourage you to go ahead, take a minute, and think about how you would solve this problem, and go ahead and click play whenever you're ready. Alright, so I'm assuming you've given it a go. Let's get started. So there are really two ways to solve this problem, and one is a quicker method, and one will most likely take more time with larger numbers and stuff. So let's go over the quick method first. What I would do to solve this problem was, okay, so I have 15/11ths, 19/15ths, and 17/13ths. What I would do is I would subtract 1 from all of these numbers. So for 15/11ths, 1 is equal to 11/11ths. For 19/15ths, 1 is equal to 15/15ths. For 17/13ths, 1 is equal to 13/13ths. So I would subtract these values from each of these. So here now you would have 4/11ths, and here you would have 4/15ths, and here you would have 4/13ths. And using a bit of previous knowledge, we know that the larger the denominator, so your bottom number here, the larger the denominator, the smaller the fraction. So since they all have the same numerator, you can determine their value based on the denominator. So the larger the denominator, the smaller the whole fraction value is. So this is the smallest. So and it's saying from least to greatest. So we start with the smallest. So write a 1 next to this one. Then the second largest denominator is this, followed by this. So our order would look like this. 4/15ths is less than 4/13ths is less than 4/11ths. And since you removed the same amount from each fraction, this will be equal to your final answer, except that you'll have to add 1 back to each of these. So 19/15ths is less than 17/13ths is less than 15/11ths. So we can go ahead and circle E as our final answer. Alright, so now let's go ahead and go over the traditional way. Let's go over that. I'm going to go ahead and clear this. Alright, so the traditional way is one that you might have learned in school and in other places, is to find the common denominator. And the way you would do that is find the common multiple of all of these numbers, of 11, 15, and 13. And how you would do it in this case is multiply all 3 numbers, because run through them in your head and you'll find that the LCM, the least common multiple, is most likely multiplying all of these in our case. In other cases, maybe not, but in this case, yes. So we'll go ahead and multiply all of these. 15 times 13 is equal to 5, carry the 1, multiply 4, 0, and add them up. And another way to do this more quickly is, of course, to say 130, or 13 times 10 plus 13 times 5. 13 times 5, which would also get you the same answer. You would get 195. So you know that 195 is 15 times 13, and then we multiply that by 11. So right now, I'm going to do the long multiplication method, but you can go ahead and check my video on how to quickly multiply by 11. You can go ahead and explore my trick later, but for this video's sake, let's go ahead and multiply it the long way. 195 times 11 add them up. 5, 4, 1, 1, 2, 1, 4, 1. Alright, so now that we have our common denominator, what we have to do is find out that we need to do each fraction in terms of that common denominator. And the way to do that is, let's go ahead and start with our first fraction. You would need to multiply 15 times 15 times 13 over 2145, and then 19 times 11 times 13 over 2145, because you want to get each one in terms of that number. So I'm going to go ahead and clear some space here. And then 17 times 11 times 15 divided by 2145. So all we're really doing here is we're multiplying the numerator by the things we multiplied the denominator by. Because if you're really thinking about it, the way we got this denominator number here, I'm going to go ahead and write it out for this one, is we went ahead and we said, okay, 11 times 15 times 13. And since this fraction was 15 by 11, what we did was we multiplied the bottom by 15 times 13, and we multiplied the top by 15 times 13. So in order for us to have an accurate answer, that's what we need to do. Alright, so I'm running out of space here. I'm going to go ahead and clear that again. So we have, I'm going to rewrite that out. So again, we multiply both sides of our fraction bar by the same thing, otherwise we won't get an accurate answer. So 145, 19 times 11 times 13 over 2145, and 17 times 11 times 15 over 2145. Alright, so now that we have these three fractions, when we multiply these out, what we end up getting is 2925 over 2145 and 2717 over 2145 and 2805 over 2145. And now what we do is we compare all the numerators, and we know that, okay, this is the least, this is the second least, and this is the third least, and we order them, and what you'll find is that you also get E this way. But again, this process is so time consuming, and it's really hard to do with just mental math in the competition. So the way I would do it was I would go ahead and say, alright, let's go with our first method right there, because we were able to get our answer faster.